Good morning, Rabbi. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm here in the fitness room in Ivy Land, Pennsylvania.
Well, what could be better than that? Wait, I thought of something that could be better than that. And this is something that's come up from time to time in conversation between you and I about how Catholics, when they feel guilt or shame or have committed a sin, have an option that, as far as I know, doesn't exist in Judaism. You can go into church, find the box, as we like to refer to it, and confess your sins. And after suitable penance, which usually involves saying a few lines of the rosary, you're forgiven if you are truly sorry. There's always that caveat. But you can do that anytime you want. Is there any kind of equivalent, or do we just have one up on you in that respect?
That brings up something really neat, Joe, that I remember when I was a chaplain at the VA hospital. Often, it was a psychiatric hospital. Often patients would come to confess, Catholic, Protestant, and occasionally one of my Jewish patients would come. And they would start by saying, I don't want to wait for Yom Kippur, and I want to confess, and the Catholics, exactly what you described. And I said, no, there's no prohibition against you confessing your sins to me. And then we can do an inventory, we can do a self-assessment and see how to how you can feel better. This won't be the same as a confession where I bring God's forgiveness to you, but you're going to forgive yourself. And that's how I work with my Christian patients as well. Not being a priest, I couldn't give anyone absolution. However, what I could do is help the individual through this process so they could see what it is that they felt guilty about, how they could make amends, and therefore feel better. And so, yes, I would put that out there, Joe. It's slightly different since it's not a sacrament, and since I'm not absolving you as an agent of God. What I am doing, however, is listening to your confession and then helping you sort out what it is that's generating the guilt and seeing if there is a way to alleviate it, whether it's making amends, whether it's taking different action, whatever it might be. So, in a sense, I would like to invite anyone not just to contact me, but to contact a rabbi or a minister. You don't have to wait for a priest. And understanding that this isn't absolution from God, but rather it's using our guilt like the warning lights on the dashboard of the car. Think of guilty feelings as something blinking at you. I'm troubled. Now, what do I do with that trouble? Not wait a year in Judaism. And if I don't feel comfortable going to a priest in the confessional, I can seek a minister or a rabbi and say, I'm feeling guilty. I haven't called my mother in 6 months or a year, and I really don't want to talk to her, but I know she really wants to hear from me, and it's generating guilt, and I can't get it out of my head. So, or I did some shoplifting. What do I do now? It's not right, and I can't give it back. And so, let's see if we can come up with an action, a plan that'll help deal with these feelings. And let's treat the guilt as an internal warning that we're dissatisfied and we don't feel okay. How's that sound, Joe?
Well, I have a confession. I confess that I can't seem to ask you any question that you don't have really great advice on, Rabbi. Thank you as much as always. And should I say a Hail Mary or just a couple of Our Fathers?
I think you should recite the Shema and put some change in the tzedakah box, in the collection box. And I think those are positive actions. Or go to the food bank or the clothes closet and sort some clothes. Do some charity actions, and that'll help you feel better. Thank you, Joe.